Good morning, friends. This is in continuation to my 7 resumption notice and the topic of discrimination in Ambala cantonment, which happened with me or my late mother, Shrimati SAVITA Das, at the hands of none other but the executives. Now, I'll share you today what are executives. Why am I speaking this word executive? We under the constitutions are given 3 pillars of the constitution. The 3 pillars of the constitutions are the judiciary, the executives and the legislators or the parliament which we have. And the 4th is the citizen. Now we are always the taker. We are never the givers. Okay. So we take everything what they give us. Now in this case, what I am talking and what I have been exhibiting since now, if you start off, in my case, judiciary gave me something, I accepted it, moved to the executive, asked to interpret the judicial doing, until 9 years, the executive is very coolly sleeping over the judicial order, not willing to compensate me at all. So this is the 3rd pillar, executive. Now if I talk of the 7 resumption notices which were cyanidized, these are those again. It is the executive, who has to file the RSA. It is not the judiciary which will bring up to this case on its own on a suo motu period. No. So the whole system is designed by the legislature. They make laws, they make policies, they make rules in the parliament, whether in the centre, whether in the state. So where are these rules? Where are these executive parliament policies which an executive has to adhere? I will read you a book called Cantonment Laws 2006 written by the Bible man J.P. Mittal, volume 1, 2, 3. Now I will read you the chapter 23, Suit for Instruction. It starts from page number 700 and ends up to 750. So some 50 pages on a small A4 size. Now I'm not going to go into the details. I will just read in particular, and why am I doing this? I'll speak. Page number 704, column 3. The DO will be held accountable for any wrong in the suits. Now here is the DO Alok Gupta who filed a falsified affidavit in Supreme Court. Page 722, column 13, 14, 15 very clearly depict how appeals in various 3 courts. Now appeals are filed in 3 courts. Judicially you must understand Session Court, High Court and Supreme Court. How these appeals have to be filed. Page 730, column 17. This is very important. Delegation of powers. Who is the authority to sanction these appeals? Now, coming to session, who will be the delegated man? Coming to High Court appeal, who will be the delegated man who will allow an appeal to be filed, and then finally who will be the man who will allow, or the executive, for the Supreme Court appeal. Now page 731 in column 18 subpara or subpart 8 very clearly says who is to be designated these powers. Now this delegation of powers must be understood that everything what an executive does, he does at the orders of the President of India. Now, President of India himself cannot move to every department and work. So, he delegates his powers under a special notification, which in the Ministry of Defence was in 1957-58, that the DO will perform duties on behalf of the President of India. Similarly, in page 741, column 16, 17, 18, it even is fixing the expenses, how they will be reimbursed and how even an advocate journal or a separate advocate from outside can be hired. So there are a lot of procedures which Mr. J.P. Mittal had written in his book in this chapter. But did the DOs or did the MEOs then in 80s read this? Did they have this spoken on hand? Because this book was printed in 2006. So they may make an excuse. No, there was a Cantonment Act Amendment 1987, which again had a big volumes. So this chapter is there or either also. So I'm not giving any leverage to them. This chapter was even there in the 1924 Cantonment Act, which was amended further on with some subtitling after 1947. Now, who is at mistake? Who will own up this responsibility of being punished? Who will actually come up? Is it the station commander, who is in turn the president of the Cantonment Board? Or is it the DO? Or is it even the advocate who is subjected to this case and is given the authority to brief after winning and losing whether an appeal is to be filed or not? So there are lot many people who are involved. So one cannot leave the onus on the other, because somebody had to come up with the truth. Either we say the whole system, including the entire hierarchy, had become corrupt. No, it cannot be that. This nation is not running on such people. It is running on honest people. I have all my faith on the executives today. I have all my faith on the judiciary. I know there is something which is my instinct giving me, that there will be somebody who will come and say, yes, we understand, Mr. Das, your father or your late mother was harassed and we are willing to compensate you on this. Friends, now this story does not end here. Why I spoke of the president or the station commander? In 2010, my video man will show you the RTI application, where the station commander exhibitively, very honestly is admitting that these 7 bungalows were issued resumption notices, and is either admitting that in bungalow number 18 and 19 illegal occupants have come over. So that means everything is known to the system. But what does the station commander do? He says the resumption files are in the custody of the DO Ambala. So he leaves his onus to the DO. It's very interesting. Now let's come to the DO. The DO, by all my haggling and everything, after my possession was taken over, everything was done, somewhere came up with a sanguine approach, and in 2013, the DO admits that 7 resumption notices, which I am asking for, 6 have been issued resumption notices, and de novo proceedings are initiated against these 6 resumption notices. Now it's very interesting. Even the DO record are saying that bungalow number 71, a Waqf property on Mall Road, which was issued a resumption notice in 73. He says, I don't have any records whether this bungalow was issued a resumption notice. Now friends, are the judicial records fraud, or is it the DO saying that he has lost a file of bungalow number 71 and whether he has filed an FIR on it? Because this bungalow was and is in possession of a very senior political man in regime. So these are questions to be answered, which I bet I'll take them in the court of law. Friends, many may not like this, that Mr. Das, if something has happened with you, why are you raking up these other notices? I'm not willing to answer back these questions. I am only understanding one thing. My constitution gave me equality. Now when my bungalow can be resumed, why are the other 7 left? I am an honest man. My father, when purchased this bungalow, legally took permissions from the Ministry of Defence. We won the Supreme Court order in 91 of unauthorized construction in this bungalow. There are people, because my father was the board president for 17 years, my father was very instrumental in getting the 1977 notification of Ambala accession when Bansilal was the defence minister. So maybe this system is up arms towards my father individually. That is why they did not file regular second appeals of others in 80s, and they just targeted my father in 80 when he won the Sessions Court order, and they took him to an RSA. So these are questions which need to be answered, which needs to be brought in front of people. And if people don't like it, friends, I lost my house. My agony is there. My daughters, my mother, me, my wife, we faced that trauma which went on 13th September 2012, when I didn't even have a night suit to be worn. Where did I take my daughters? I know it. Leave it to me. It's very close to my heart. And I share it with you today. With my research, with my movements, similar happenings are in your cantonment also. I have data of many cantonments of 57 which we inherited from the British. If you don't want to dig into those, some are with me. You will realize when your bungalow will go, that why is he left? Or why am I not compensated? And why is he compensated to such an exorbitant amount of compensation on a dilapidated bungalow? Your constructed bungalow at times get you only a lakh rupee, but a dilapidated bungalow gets a bungalow owner at times 2-3 lakh rupees. Why? This is all something which is happening. So to save my bungalow, I am willing to do anything. To save my rights, I am ready to take on the system right from front. I do not want to harass these 7 people who are now the bungalow owners, in which 2 are illegal occupants, 3 is Waqf board, 1 bungalow owner is an actual HOR, and the other bungalow owner is an actual HOR, but the bungalow doesn't stand on the OGB grant. It's a vanished bungalow. So he has nothing to lose. He's neither living in it, neither enjoying the fruits of that bungalow. Well, I would only say I stand by these 7 bungalows also, but you have to understand my pleading. You have to understand my agony, what I went through. Friends, try and dig into your cantonments and see what is happening in your cantonments. Resumption notices are left over and new resumption notices are issued and bungalow owners are harassed. I am requesting all of you. I have not done a research only to win-win. I even while doing a research have documents which do not favor our doings, which do not favor what we are asking for. So please understand, we have to clap with 2 hands. We cannot do it by 1 hand. So I am requesting this department, I am requesting the Ministry of Defence in this video, because this is a purely personal video, nothing to do with mass resumptions or with bungalow areas or with what are grant rights or what are GLRs. This is only related to my 102 bungalow. Thank you. Good day.